Welcome all to the black hole of exploring knowledge, the analysis hole. Please like, share, and subscribe my channel for further notifications to my upcoming videos. The question and answers from your chapter, The Little Girl, from your book Beehive. Question number 1: what do the following phrases mean to you? Discuss in class. First is humid shadows. Humid shadows refer to the dark black clouds that float in the air. Second is starry spheres. Spheres refers to the night sky which has been lit up by the stars. Next, water bliss. The phrase water bliss highlights the magnitude of happiness and joy that the poet derives from the pitter patter of the rain. Next is a thousand dreamy fancies into busy being start. A thousand dreamy fancies into busy being start refers to the dreams and fantasies that abound the poet's mind. Next is a thousand recollections weave their air threads into woofs. This means that this phrase refers to the memories and that the poet recollects, just like the threads which are woven across the loom to form an exquisite picture. Next question: what does the poet like to do when it rains? The poet experiences an extreme feeling of joy and pleasure as he lies on the cottage chamber bed pressing a pillow. Consequently, listening to the pitter patter of the soft rain takes him to the seventh heaven. Next question: what is the single major memory that comes to the poet? Who are the darling dreamers he refers to? The single major memory that comes to the poet's mind is the memory of his mother. The darling dreamers refers to are all lovely dreamers who remember their mothers in the same way as the poet does. Is the poet now a child? Is his mother still alive? No, the poet is not a child anymore. He is a grown up individual. The poet's mother is not alive. However, that motherly affection and love can be felt by the poet as he enjoys the patter of the soft rain in his cottage chamber. Now, next question: when you were a young child, did your mother tuck you in as the Poets did? Yes. My mother used to tuck me in the manner in which poet's mother did when I was a young child. So you can share your own experiences that you have and add to the answer of this question. Do you like rain? What do you do when it rains steadily or heavily as described in the poem? Yes, I like rain as well as its soft pitter patter voice. I love to get wet in the heavy showers, which is just like an energy drink for me. Mm. No, I don't like rain as it has a very disturbing impact on the lives of those who live in kacha houses and on the footpaths and elsewhere. Excessive rains also destroy the crops of the farmers, which their only means of livelihood. Next, now you can share your own views to answer this question according to your likes and dislikes. Next question: does everybody have a cozy bed to lie in when it rains? Look around you and describe how different kinds of peoples or animals spend their time, seek shelter, and etc. during rain. No, everybody is not fortunate enough to enjoy a cozy bed when it rains. Everybody in this world does not have an opportunity to feel the pleasure and energy it accompanies. Animals such as birds, stray dogs, etc., often take shelter inside their nests and thatched roofs made of reed and straw, respectively. However, many people are faced with difficulties of taking shelter. Many houses are ruined because of heavy rainfall, and many people often die due to the disastrous consequences such as lightning, which may fall, or trees that fall apart due to thunderstorm. Such a situation, therefore, has its own pros and cons every time it comes. Now, next part of your chapter and the questions related to this. There was a glad sense of relief when she heard the noise of the carriage growing fainter. Here, glad means happy about something. Now, glad, happy, pleased, delighted, thrilled, and overjoyed are synonyms. So, however, they express happiness in certain ways. Now, read the sentences below. She was glad when the meeting was over. The chief guest was pleased to announce the name of the winner. Use an appropriate word from the synonyms given above in the following sentences, and clues are given in brackets. So, you have to use these synonyms here. She was dashed by the news of her brother's wedding. Now, these are the answers. She was overjoyed by the news of her brother's wedding. Next is, I was delighted to be invited to the party. Next, she was glad at the birth of her granddaughter. Next is, the coach was pleased with his performance. She was very happy with the results. Now, next question. Study the use of word big in the following sentences. He was so big, dash, his hands and his neck, especially his mouth, dash. Here, big means large in size. Now, consult a dictionary and find out the meaning of big in the following sentences. The first one has been done for you. So, you are a big girl now. Big means in this sentence older. Today you are going to take the biggest decision of your career. So these are the answers. So this here biggest means consequential. Third is, their project is full of big ideas. It means extraordinary. Here big means extraordinary. Cricket is a big game in our country. Big means popular. I am a big fan of Lata Mangeshkar. Here in this sentence, the big means great admirer of Lata Mangeshkar. You have to cook a bit more as my friend is a big eater. Big means in this sentence gourmet. What a big heart you have got, father dear. And in this sentences, big means compassionate. So there are so many meanings in different sentences, and the word is same big, and it depends upon its usage, that how we have used the word big in different sentences and what is their proper meaning in the next question. Study the following sentences. What? Screamed mother. No, she whispered. Sit up, he ordered. So the italicized words are verbs of reporting. We quote or report or someone has said or thought by using a reporting verb. Every reporting clause contains a reporting verb. For example, he promised to help me in my project. How are you doing? She asked. We use verbs of reporting to advise, order, report statements, thoughts, intentions, questions, requests, apologies, manner of speaking, and so on. So underline the verbs of reporting in the following sentences. So these are the sentences and you have to underline the verbs of reporting in the following sentences. First, in the first sentence, the verb is says. Next is mentioned. In the next sentence, told, answered, wondered, told, apologized. And now next question, some verbs of reporting verbs are given in the box, and choose the appropriate verbs and fill in the blanks in the following sentences. So these are the verbs given in this box, and you have to fill them in appropriate sentences. So these are the sentences, and you have to fill these verbs in them. So first answer is, I am not afraid, replied the woman. So here we will use the verb replied. Next is, leave me alone, my mother shouted. The children were complaining that the roads were crowded and noisy. Perhaps he isn't a bad sort of chap after all, remarked the master. Let's go and look at the school ground, suggested the sports teachers. The traffic police ordered all the passengers by to keep off the road. So next question, given below are some emotions that Kezia felt. Match the emotions in column A with the items in column B. So this is the question and this is the answer. You have to match all these columns, and these are the correct answers. Now next question, why was Kezia afraid of her father? Kezia, the little girl, was afraid of her father due to authoritative and dominating nature, and second, moreover, his loud voice coupled with his massive physical appearance was what terrified Kezia. Who were the people in Kezia's family? There were 5 members in the family, including father, mother, grandmother, Alice the cook, and Kezia herself. What was Kezia's father's routine? Before going to his office, after coming back from his office, and on Sundays. Now, before going to his office, Kezia's father usually visit her room to give her a casual kiss before leaving the house. And after coming back from his office, Kezia's father ordered a tea to be brought into the drawing room. He further used to raise questions inquiring about the paper and asked to bring his slippers. Kezia was also called upon to remove her father's boots. And on Sunday afternoons, Kezia usually saw her father stretched out on sofa with a handkerchief on his face and his feet on one of the best cushions, sleeping soundly and snoring. Next question, in what ways did Kezia's grandmother encourage her to get to know her father better? Kezia's grandmother used to send her down to the drawing room on Sunday afternoons to have a nice and warm talk with her father and mother. In addition to this, she also gave Kezia a brilliant idea of surprising her father with a pincushion made out of yellow silk on his birthday in order to make him happy and feel special. Next question, discuss these questions in class with your teacher. So these are the questions. Kezia's efforts to please her father resulted in displeasing him very much. How does this happen? Kezia, the little girl, was very scared of her father, who was a dominant personality with authoritative traits. One day, when she was kept indoors due to cold, her grandmother acquainted her about her father's birthday next week and suggested her about making a pincushion out of a beautiful piece of yellow silk. The little girl worked assiduously, stitching the 3 sides with double cotton, but did not know what was to be filled inside the cushion. During that particular situation, her grandmother was out in the garden, because of which she herself went to her mother's room to look for scraps. As soon as she came across a number of sheets of paper on the bed table, she gathered them and tore them into pieces and stuffed them up in the cushion. Following, she sewed up the 4th side. Although Kezia's purpose of tearing the pages was only for her father's birthday present. The situation turned bitter and unpleasant because the papers she tore her had father's great speech for the port authority. After knowing the truth, Kezia's father lost temper in no time and scolded her for touching things that did not belong to her and punished her by hitting her palm with a ruler, and her efforts went on to displease her father very badly. Next, discuss these questions in your class. And then write down your answer in 1 to 2 paragraphs. Kezia decides that there are different kinds of fathers. What kind of father was Mr. MacDonald, and how was he different from Kezia's father? Kezia decided that there were different kind of fathers after watching Mr. MacDonald play with his 5 children who lived next door. Kezia considered Mr. MacDonald to be a very soft-hearted and loving father in comparison to her father. He was very gentle in his approach and had a healthy relationship with his children. As opposed to Mr. MacDonald's personality traits, Kezia's father was a very strict disciplinarian with a short-tempered attitude. He had a dominating nature, and because of his volatile temperament, Kezia was very scared of him and his presence every time. Now, next question. How does Kezia begin to see her father as a human being who needs her sympathy? When Kezia's mother fell ill, she was left alone in the house with Alice, the cook, as grandmother went to the hospital. The daytime went on, but as Alice was putting her to bed at night, she suddenly grew afraid as the thoughts of the nightmares she experienced kept on disturbing her. Unfortunately, Kezia's worst fears came true, and she experienced the same old nightmare of the butcher and a knife. As she woke up screaming, "Grandma, Grandma," she saw her father beside her bed. Her father immediately took her in his arms and carried her to the big bedroom and lay beside her. With the thought of the butcher still on her mind, she crept close to her father, snuggled her head and under his arm, and held tightly to his shirt. The father asked Kezia to rub her feet against his legs to keep them warm, and fell asleep with her. Kezia understood the magnitude of the hard work her father did every day, which left him too tired to become like Mr. MacDonald. As she trembled inside, she expressed her transformed feeling by telling her father about the beauty of the big heart he had. Now, next section is: has your life been different from or similar to that of Kezia when you were a child? Has your perception about your parents changed now? Do you find any change in your parents' behavior vis-a-vis yours? Who has become more understanding? What steps would you like to take to build a relationship based on understanding? Write 3 or 4 paragraphs discussing these issues from your own experience. Now, answer is: life is full of troubles, stress, and anxieties. There comes a time when our parents are circumstantially forced to abide by certain things, which keeps them much preoccupied. They even fail to think for themselves or their own interests. Such was the case with the father of Kezia. Living in a joint family, I have been given utmost love, care, and concern in every field by my parents, my grandparents, my uncle and aunt, as well as the other members of my family. So, as compared to the experience of the Kezia, my life and childhood was quite different. As a young child, I often used to feel bad about some things for which I was repeatedly scolded or corrected at, just the way Kezia was scolded for tearing the important pages written by her father. I was also similarly criticized for my bad habits and wrong deeds. They definitely did pinch me at a particular point of time. However, as I have grown up over the years, I have gradually noticed the big change in the attitude of my parents towards me. They have given me the freedom to explore myself freely at every stage of my life, wherever it was required. From a small child to the years of adolescence, I have not only witnessed the kind of freedom but at the same time understood all the things that I was corrected at repeatedly or told not to do this or to that. Over the years, I have become more understanding and mature. Although children at a younger age might feel bad about certain things, but it is very fundamental to their overall development as an individual, because correcting them and making them learn the right things at a younger stage is much easier than at a later stage. So these experiences of my life have taught me some different important lessons which I would definitely carry forward for the rest of my life. And above all, the difference between the right and the wrong, and the good and the bad. So students, you have to share your own experiences, and this is just an example. Just this answer is just an example of my experience, so you can write add your own experiences to this answer. So that's all, and keep watching.